Parsons, a computer systems analyst from Portsmouth, winner of the Group A final. Paul Evans, an insurance administrator from Bristol, winner of the Group B final. Tristan Robbie, a management consultant from Chiswick, London, winner of the Group C final. And Tony Hetherington, a computing manager from Eltham, London, highest scoring runner-up from all the group finals.
Good evening and welcome to the 1991 Krypton Factor Grand Final. Tonight, the four outstanding contestants from this series do battle one last time. And tonight, one of them will be crowned United Kingdom Superperson of 1991 and will claim this splendid Krypton Factor trophy. 6 really tough mental and physical challenges lie ahead, including the most demanding aircraft simulator test we've ever set. So let's get the 1991 Grand Final underway. Round 1 is mental agility. It's the toughest start of all. Our grand finalists must mentally picture a grid, 4 squares by 4, into which they must place the words, the Krypton factor. I will then ask questions about the letters in this grid. For example, I might ask 2 to the right of C. The answer would be O. Or I might say the first column, and the answer to that is T-R-O-C, being the letters down the first column of the grid. Difficult enough when you can see the grid, but really taxing when, like our contestants, you can't. Right, let's now meet our first grand finalist ready to tackle this test. The computer systems analyst from Portsmouth, Lawrence Parsons. Lawrence clinched his grand final place in dramatic style, winning the tie-break for a last-gasp victory in the Group A final. So welcome once again, Lawrence. I'm sure you won't need reminding now that this is a speed test, so you must answer as many questions as you can in 40 seconds. Are you ready to begin?
I am.
Then the very best of luck to you, and your 40 seconds start now. Above F.
P.
Below Y.
N.
Third column.
EPFO.
On left of letter below A.
T.
Wrong. On right of letter above N.
T.
Wrong. 2 above F.
E.
2 to the left of K.
H.
Diagonal top right to bottom left.
K.
P, N, C to complete it, but in 40 seconds you've scored 5 in a very tough test, so that's a good score. Well done, Lawrence. Take your seat, please. Our second grand finalist comes from Bristol, the insurance administrator, Paul Evans. Paul took maximum points in 4 rounds for an impressive victory in the Group B final. So it's welcome back to you, Paul. Are you ready to begin?
I am.
The very best of luck then, and your 40 seconds start now. Below A.
R.
Above P.
E.
Second row.
RYPT.
On left of letter above F.
Next.
On right of letter below P.
A.
2 above C.
R.
2 to right of N.
A.
Diagonal top left to bottom right.
KP.
No, well, it would have been TYFR, but in 40 seconds you've scored 6, which is excellent. Well done, Paul. Take your seat, please. Well, our third grand finalist is the management consultant from Chiswick, London, Tristan Robbie. Tristan was the winner of a thrilling Group C final, and his victory included a brilliant performance to smash the assault course record. So welcome back to you, Tristan. Are you ready to begin?
I am.
Good. Well, the best of luck to you, and your 40 seconds start now. Above N.
Y.
Below P.
F.
Fourth column.
KTAR.
On left of letter below Y.
F.
Wrong. On right of letter above F.
Y.
Wrong. 2 above A.
K.
2 to the right of Y.
T.
Diagonal bottom left to top right.
C. N. P. K.
Well, you were right, but the bleeper just beat you before you'd finished it, so I can only give you the 5, but nonetheless, that's a good score. Well done, Tristan. Take your seat, please. And our fourth grand finalist is the computing manager from Eltham, London, Tony Hetherington. Tony achieved a record Krypton factor of 62 in his heat and then qualified for this grand final as a high-scoring runner-up from all 3 group finals. So welcome back to you, Tony. Are you ready to start?
Yes.
And very best of luck. Your 40 seconds start now. Below F.
O.
Above Y.
H.
Third row.
ONFA.
On left of letter above A.
P.
On right of letter below N.
O.
2 above N.
H.
2 to the left of P.
R.
Diagonal bottom right to top left.
C. N. P. K.
Wrong. And that would in fact have been RFYT, but nonetheless, in 40 seconds, you got 7, which is a brilliant score. Well done, Tony. Take your seat, please. Well, the toughest mental agility test of the series, I'm sure you'll agree, and some really excellent performances. Now, in that round, Lawrence and Tristan finished with the same scores, so their placings for 3rd and 4th place, respectively, will be decided by the clock, and who reached their total in the faster time. Then, as always, it will be 10 points, 6, 4 and 2 for 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th places. So, let's go to the scoreboard and see how it all worked out. And there it is. In 4th place with 2 points, Lawrence. In 3rd place with 4 points, Tristan. In 2nd place with 6 points, Paul. But the winner of the round and the early leader with a Krypton factor of 10, the computing manager from Eltham, London, Tony Hetherington. Round 2, and for this grand final, quite simply, the toughest hand-eye coordination test we've ever set. We flew our contestants to RAF Kinloss in Morayshire for a test that demands nerves of steel and an incredible level of skill. The challenge is to pilot an RAF maritime Nimrod to rendezvous at 8,000 feet with a Hercules tanker plane in a mid-air refueling operation. It all takes place aboard the RAF's brand new £10 million simulator, where the instructor and judge for the round is Flight Lieutenant Alan Hughes. And it will be Lawrence Parsons to attempt this nerve-wracking experience first. Just up above is the Hercules refueling tanker travelling at about 250 miles an hour. Now, the task for our grand finalists is to get as close to that trailing basket as they can. Short of a miracle, they couldn't yet have acquired the skill to lock into it. Not even regular pilots can achieve that without a lot of concentrated practice. But on that target bottom right, the cross represents the position of the Nimrod's probe in relation to the basket. And he's doing a pretty good job here, keeping very close to the center of the target. And he's now right up to the basket and begins to veer away to the left, but that was a very good attempt by Lawrence Parsons. Next, it's Bristol's Paul Evans. And by the way, that electronic target we've inset is purely for our benefit. It's not part of the aircraft's instrumentation, which the pilot could monitor. Indeed, Paul will have his eyes glued on visual references displayed on the back of that tanker ahead of him. But it's incredibly difficult to keep the very precise control that's essential in this intricate maneuver. Although he's done remarkably well to keep that tanker and the basket reasonably in line, and just missed it there, but a really good attempt by Paul Evans. Now, Tristan Robbie. His speed in the Nimrod, 220 knots, the speed of the Hercules, 215, and the Nimrod will be taking on 17 tons of fuel. That's over 4,000 gallons. But Tristan in real trouble here. He's drifted away to the right of the tanker, and he's banking hard left, but before he reaches the Hercules, he'll have to apply opposite bank, or he'll speed away past it. And that's just what he does. Well, hard luck, Tristan, Robbie, but it is so difficult. Finally, Tony Hetherington. He, like the others, has had about 45 minutes in the simulator undergoing instruction and practice. Now he's on his own. On the back of the tanker, he'll be able to see a yellow horizontal strip, which he's trying to sit in line with. And Tony doing remarkably well here. The Nimrod's probe jutting out just above the window and pretty close to the basket. Just look at the target. Well, he almost astounded everyone there. A brilliant performance. Now for the results, Flight Lieutenant Hughes judged it like this. Fourth, Tristan Robbie. He was never really in control and passed the basket 79 feet to the left and 50 feet below, 2 points. Third, Lawrence Parsons. He made a very good effort, passing the basket 28 feet to the left and only 2 feet above, 4 points. Second, Paul Evans. An excellent attempt, missing the basket by just 20 feet to the left and 9 below, 6 points. And the winner, Tony Hetherington, an outstanding performance, finishing just 7 feet left and 7 feet above the target. Now, all those points are transferred to the scoreboard, where Lawrence Parsons has moved up to joint third, but stretching his lead. Out in front with a Krypton factor of 20, Elton's Tony Hetherington. So, Tony setting a really hot pace as we move into round 3 observation and the climax of our comedy thriller, Where is Don Day? About a bank manager turned bank robber. Then 6 questions on the visual and verbal content of this final episode. Last week, we left Don in the casino trying to save his reputation and his bank's money. Right, grand finalists, would you now please turn to your screens as quickly as you can, concentrate hard as we find out if Don Day's gamble pays off.
Ever since the bank robbery, I hadn't really been myself. Watching most of the money go up in smoke was bad enough. But what possessed me to try and win it back at roulette?
And what we could have done with 100,000 quid. And now we got nothing.
Would you be happy living on stolen money?
Happier than I could be living on no money. Oh no, don't look now.
Hello, Enzo. Luigi.
Why didn't you tell us what was going on?
You'd never have believed us.
Yes, we would. We could have split the cash 4 ways. This way, nobody gets nothing.
I know, but at least nobody goes to prison, do they?
We did a bank robbery and got nothing to show for it.
I know, but no hard feelings, eh?
No, no hard feelings.
Better luck next time, eh?
Yes, better luck next time. No. Don't rob any more banks, please.
No, and don't you go playing roulette no more either.
Could have been worse.
How? But why give it back to the bank?
So they won't press charges.
But just think what we could have done with £100,000.
Yeah. Still, we can do quite a lot with 10,000.
What?
The money that we started with, I only gave back the money that was actually stolen. Do you fancy a trip around the world?
I'd hate every minute of it.
And as they walk off into the sunset, I'd like to thank the entire cast of Where is Don Day, and especially Tony Robinson and Michelle Collins for their splendid performances. Now, grand finalists, would you get your keypads ready, please? And 6 questions coming up on what you've just seen and heard. Question 1. How many empty beer mats were on Marcy and Don's table before Enzo and Luigi arrived? That's it, time is up. The answer to that was B, 3. Question 2. Don asked Marcy whether she could be happy living on what? And time's up again. The answer to that was D, stolen money. Question 3. What time did the clock show as Enzo and Luigi entered the pub? And the answer to that was C, 1:15. Question 4. What was the name of the bar? The answer to that was C. Samuel Platts. Next, question 5. Why did Don give the money back to the bank? Time's up. And the answer to that, C, so they won't press charges. Finally, question 6. What was the name of the travel agency on the travel documents Don produced? Time's up. The answer is A, Far Off Flights. Well, I wonder how well you did with those at home. Here in the studio, the computer has instantly recorded all our grand finalist answers, so I can now tell them how many they got right. And here's the result. Lawrence, you got 3 right and finished 4th, 2 points. Paul, 4 right for you, and 3rd place, 4 points. Tristan, you got 5 right and finished the round in 2nd place, 6 points. And Tony, you also got 5 right, but in a faster time than Tristan, so you win the round with 10 points. Well done. And right away, all those points go into the scoreboard, and with 3 rounds gone, still with a maximum Krypton factor and setting a tremendous pace. Now with 30 points, it's Tony Hetherington. Colonel Terry Macari starts the assault course race in this Krypton Factor Grand Final, and all 4 contestants have won on this course during the series, so this should be a tremendous battle. And none has performed better than the man on the far side in yellow, Tristan Robbie. He won both his heat and group final in brilliant style, and stride for stride there with Paul Evans. And Tony Hetherington, a mistake on the far side, and none of these contestants can afford to make mistakes like that in such a high-quality field. So Paul in 2nd place, and Lawrence Parsons here in 3rd place, putting himself back in that switchback. But the early leader is Tristan Robbie. He's a very fit man. In his days at Oxford University, he was the varsity match individual champion in the modern pentathlon, and a year later he led his university team to victory over Cambridge. Now we're going to see the Robbie leap into the cargo net. We are indeed. He believes that gives him extra feet advantage over his nearest challenger, who is Paul Evans. And in 3rd place, it's Lawrence, but Tony's come back strongly there. He's level with Lawrence in 3rd place. And beautifully done, the S-bend from Tristan Robbie. It is noticeable that each time the contestants run on this course, they improve their techniques. You can see it there with Tristan, and you can see it with Paul Evans, who's adopted that rolling technique through the S-bend. And he is staying very much in contention as Tristan gets to the top of the A-frame, and that's a beautiful flip over. He must have come halfway down there, and that'll have been disheartening for Paul Evans, who will have had the perfect view of it. And indeed, Lawrence Parsons is right on his heels. So, striding on, Tristan Robbie. We know from his heat and his group final that he's got a great finishing burst. He's got pace, he's got stamina, so he's out in front. And I think the battle now is for 2nd place. Can Paul here hold off Lawrence Parsons and indeed Tony Hetherington, who's only a further stride behind? So total concentration and total confidence in the face of Tristan Robbie as he begins the aerial descent. And behind him it is Paul Evans, who's still managing to hold off Lawrence Parsons. And beautiful technique from Tristan, almost cleared the water, and Paul will be looking for a similar landing if he's to stay in 2nd place. But Tristan puts in the finishing burst. Beautifully judged race, excellent technique all the way through. 10 glorious points for Tristan Robbie. Now it's Paul who's going to hit the water first, but right there with him is Lawrence Parsons. So this is going to be a real battle to the line for 2nd place, and Tony not that far behind either. So Paul Evans into the last obstacle, with Lawrence giving it all he's got now to try and catch him, but Paul manages to hold him off and comes across the line in 2nd place, 6 points. Now Lawrence Parsons, helped with his fitness training by the Royal Naval Field Gun Crew at Portsmouth, 3rd, 4 points, leaving Tony Hetherington to come in 4th. A Geordie from Gosforth, though now living in Eltham, and he'll be regretting that early mistake. But a marvellous run from all 4 of them. We go to the scoreboard. Tristan moves up into joint 2nd place as the gap closes on the leader, who with a Krypton factor of 32 is still Tony Hetherington. So Tony maintaining that lead, but the others beginning to close on him, and this penultimate round could prove crucial to the fortunes of all 4 contestants. A 3-dimensional logic puzzle to challenge their mental ability and nerves. And grand finalists, would you now please move down to your positions? And in front of each of them are 6 irregularly shaped solids. They must fit those solids together in the only way possible so as to form a multifaceted 3-dimensional solid which has spherical symmetry. Are you all ready, contestants? The test starts now. Well, this would be a really tough test if you knew what you were building, but the finalists haven't been given any clues at all, which makes it incredibly difficult for them. Now, the finished product features an icosahedron, which has 20 faces and will be in black, and onto each face will be built 20 regular tetrahedra, which will be green, and that finished figure, a stellated icosahedron, will then have 60 faces, each an equilateral triangle. This is Tristan Robbie. He's left a gap at the front there, which he won't be able to fill unless he rearranges. Paul Evans has made a good start. Those pieces are very fragile, so a lot of care has to be taken, and he badly wants 10 points from this round. Certainly, if Tony on the right wins this, it'll be virtually impossible for the others to catch him. Lawrence Parsons looks like he's on his way now. And Paul Evans, has he finished? No, that last piece won't fit, so there's an error somewhere. Tristan's struggling, and now Tony, well, the frustration's there. He thought he'd done it, but the last piece won't fit. It's beginning to take shape for Lawrence Parsons, but I think we have a winner. Has Paul Evans completed it? He has indeed. He's desperate to win the points. He's got them. But Tony Hetherington hasn't let it slip by too much. He comes second and gets 6 very important points. Now for third place. Will it be Tristan Robbie, who's struggled throughout this test, or Lawrence Parsons, who seems to have it worked out? Yes, indeed. He gives it a 12 and takes 4 points. Well, I said that would be a crucial round, and so it was. Paul won it, so he gets the 10 points he badly needed, and that will make very interesting reading as we go now to the scoreboard. And there is the situation. Paul is now clear in second place and has closed to within 6 points of the leader, who, with a Krypton factor of 38, is still Eltham's Tony Hetherington. And so to the 6th and final round, just a couple of minutes away now from knowing who will become the new Krypton Factor champion. So what a round it should be. 90 seconds of rapid-fire general knowledge questions to be answered on the buzzer. 2 points for a correct answer, but 2 points deducted for a wrong one. Stand by, grand finalists. The clock starts now. Which king of Wessex in the 9th century fought the Danes? Paul?
Albert.
No, Alfred. Who co-stars with Alfred Molina in TV's El Cid about 2 ex-policemen in Spain? Answer is John Bird. Which flightless bird, now extinct, lived on Mauritius? Lawrence?
Dodo.
Correct. A dodecagon has how many sides and jump? Tristan?
12.
Correct. What do we call the 12 grades of proficiency in judo distinguished by their colour? Lawrence?
Dan.
Correct. Who preceded Dan Quayle as Vice President of the United States? Paul?
George Bush.
Correct. In 1776, David Bushnell's American Turtle was the first vessel of what sort to be used in a war? Lawrence?
Submarine.
Correct. Which film about a Russian submarine commander played by Lawrence?
Hunt for Red October.
Correct. The Oktoberfest Beer Festival is held in which? Paul?
Munich.
Correct. Which author who lived in Munich wrote Death in Venice and The Magic Mountain? Paul? Where are you? Too late. Thomas Mann. Manila is capital of which republic? Tristan?
Philippines.
Correct. John and Michelle Phillips, Cass Elliot and Dennis Doherty form which pop group? Tony?
Mamas and Papas.
Correct. What do we call the highest order of mammals, including monkeys, apes, lemurs and humans? Paul?
Homo sapien.
No, primates. Which prime number is the cube root of 343? Tristan?
71.
No, 7 is the right answer. Which film won 7 Oscars this year, including one for its director, Kevin? Tristan? It's Dances with Wolves. Chemically, wolfram is more often known as what? Tony?
Tungsten.
Correct. That's it. The end of the round, the end of the contest, and the winner tonight, and United Kingdom Superperson of 1991 with a Krypton factor of 42 from Eltham, London, Tony Hetherington. Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you very much.
That was a magnificent performance. I mean, you led from start to finish, so you're a very worthy winner, and you must be so pleased with your own performance there.
Well, I got the start I wanted, and winning the first 3 rounds was set up from then on.
It was an absolutely marvellous performance, and it gives me great pleasure now to present to you the Krypton Factor Trophy. So well done. And ladies and gentlemen, the 1991 Krypton champion, Tony Hetherington. Well done. And so our new champion is crowned, and that just about wraps it up for another year. Thank you for supporting us through the series, and we look forward to your company again in 1992. But now let's finish by thanking our 3 gallant runners-up. and by congratulating once more our new champion, the United Kingdom superperson of 1991, Tony Hetherington.
If you'd like to apply for the next series of television's toughest quiz, please write to The Krypton Factor, Granada Television, Key Street, Manchester, M60 9EA.